You know what's crazy? The moment someone disrespects you, most people rush to explain themselves. They start talking faster, defending harder, trying to prove they're not wrong. Maybe you've felt that moment before. Someone makes a sarcastic comment in front of others, and suddenly you're explaining, laughing it off, or trying to fix the tension. But have you ever noticed something strange? The more you explain, the smaller you seem. Because in that exact moment, something subtle happens. You accidentally hand them control over the situation. And the people who command the most respect understand one quiet rule most people never see. Today, I'm going to show you 5 subtle behaviors that instantly change how people treat you. The first sign that people start taking you less seriously is when you feel like you have to explain yourself too much. You've probably experienced this before. Someone makes a slightly sarcastic comment about you in front of other people. Maybe something like, "Oh really? I thought that was supposed to be difficult," or "sounds interesting, but it probably isn't realistic." And immediately you start explaining, you add more details, give examples, trying to make your point clearer. You want everyone to understand that you're not wrong. But this is exactly where things begin to slide downhill. Because in the eyes of the person testing you, constant explanations are not a sign that you're right. It's a sign that you're seeking approval. Human psychology is strange. The more someone tries to prove they're right, the easier it is to place them in a lower position in the conversation. People with strong social presence rarely do this. They say their point once, and if someone tries to mock them or pull them into a pointless argument, they simply pause, look at the person, and continue the conversation like nothing happened. Not because they don't know how to respond, but because they understand that not every comment deserves a reaction. The next time someone tries to pull you into explaining yourself, try something simple. Pause, stay silent for a moment, look directly at them, then continue with what you are saying. That calm composure sends a very clear message. You don't need to prove your value. And sometimes real power comes from deciding you're no longer playing that game. The second mistake that causes many people to lose respect is trying to keep the peace by laughing things off. You've probably seen this kind of situation before. Someone makes a joke that goes a little too far. Everyone at the table laughs. And even though you feel slightly hurt, you laugh along with them. You think doing that will keep things light. But the reality is different. When you laugh along with a joke that puts you down, you accidentally send a very clear signal. Your boundaries are not really there. And people naturally test that boundary again. Not everyone does this consciously, but in social interactions, people are always watching how someone reacts when their pride is touched. If the reaction is laughter, they understand they can push a little further next time. People who are always respected usually don't make a big scene when this happens, but they also don't laugh along. They simply look at the person, keep a calm expression, and then move the conversation to something else. That brief moment of silence makes the person realize their comment just fell into empty space. And that's the moment when the power quietly shifts. Because in many situations, the right silence carries more weight than any comeback. The third mistake is reacting too quickly when something touches your ego. Here's a simple example. Someone says something that makes you uncomfortable. Immediately, you respond. Maybe you argue, explain, or fire back. You think you're defending yourself. But here's the problem. Reacting too quickly is often a sign that you've already been pulled into their game. Many people say slightly provocative things just to see how you react. They want to know whether you're easy to pull into emotion. The moment you react immediately, they know they've touched the right spot. People with strong presence usually do something very different. They don't react immediately. They pause for a second, just 1 second. That tiny pause does 2 things. First, it makes the other person hear their own words again. Second, it gives you the power to choose a response instead of reacting on instinct. Then you can say something very simple. Do you really think so? No arguing, no explaining, no anger, just a light question. And many times, the person who tried to test you becomes the next one feeling uncomfortable because they didn't get the reaction they were expecting. The fourth mistake is far more dangerous, and most people never even realize it. This is where things start to get dangerous. Many people believe that to earn respect, they need to hit back hard when someone insults them. They respond more sharply, throw sarcasm back, or try to prove they're unaffected by attacking in return. On the surface, it may look strong, but in many cases, it actually shows that you've been pulled down to the other person's level. People who truly have status rarely jump into verbal fights like this. They understand something simple. Arguing with someone who is trying to put you down in front of others often just makes their stage bigger. Instead, they use a different strategy. They reduce attention. If someone says something provocative, they pause for a moment, then turn to someone else in the group and continue the conversation. That action sends a very clear message. That comment simply wasn't important enough to interrupt the conversation. And when someone doesn't receive the attention they were looking for, their game automatically loses power. This is a very quiet kind of power, but extremely effective. In the end, all of this comes back to one very simple principle. People don't decide to respect you based only on what you say. They decide based on how you react when you're tested. When someone touches your pride, they're watching closely. They want to see if you'll panic, explain yourself, laugh it off, or stay calm. The moment you stop rushing to prove that you're right, things begin to change. You speak less, you react more slowly, and you only engage in conversations that are actually worth it. Your presence starts to carry weight, because the most respected person in the room is not the one who talks the most. It's the one who doesn't need to prove their value to anyone. And once you understand that, the way people treat you begins to change. So here's the truth. The moment someone disrespects you is not when you lose power. You lose power the moment you feel the need to prove your worth. Because people don't measure your value by how much you explain. They measure it by how steady you remain when someone tries to shake you. And once you understand that, everything changes. You stop rushing to defend yourself. You stop laughing off things that cross your boundaries. And you stop playing the emotional games people use to test you. Instead, you stay calm, you stay grounded, and you choose your reactions carefully. So the next time someone tries to challenge your dignity, remember this: pause for a second before you react. Let your silence do the talking. Because the people who carry the most respect in a room are rarely the loudest ones. They're the ones who never feel the need to prove who they are. If this video helped you, like and subscribe for more.